For my first ever Bled Inspires guest, I'm joined online today by the Honorable Mayor of Shurugwi, Tamiswa Njovana.
Hi everyone, my name is Tamiswa Njovana, and it's such a pleasure and an honor to be on Bled Inspires today. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself as we get to know each other. I'm very excited to be on this very innovative program. So my name is Tamiswa, as I've said earlier on. I'm 32 years old. I come from Shurugwi, which happens to be a place where I am currently a councillor in Ward 3. Another name for it would be Jobolenko Ward. And I also happen to be the mayor of this particular council, which is a rural council. So let me tell you a bit about my history. I went to Prince Edward School from Form 1 to 6, and I happened to excel in public speaking, debate, and dramatics. My particular niche or area of interest was public speaking, where I excelled extensively. To my knowledge, I was the Harare champion 3 years in a row, and in 2005 I went on to win the national championships, which were held at Prince Edward High School.
Sir, tell us more about your journey from being a schoolboy, being a prefect. I mean, I remembered PE together with you as your water boy when I was in Form 1, right up to winning all these awards of public speaking, debate, and then going right away into serving the nation and now being a mayor. Tell us more, buddy.
At the age of 24, I got involved in politics. Initially, it was more just philanthropic work which I was doing when I'd finished my aviation qualification in South Africa, came back home, where I started paying school fees for young girls. I generally had a passion for the young girl and young women and uplifting them in society. So I came back and I got the opportunity to pay for approximately 45 girls, which I put through from Form 1 to Form 4 at a high school near where I live called Gare High. One thing led to the next, and I suppose one or two politicians caught eye of the work I was doing, and I was persuaded or convinced to run for council. So I ran for council at the age of 25 in 2013, and I won. And that indeed was such a challenge. Why I say it was a challenge is because it was a strong rural area. In fact, it still is. With very strong cultures which are rural, which, to be very honest, I was not very familiar with, having been a town boy. So yes, it presented itself as a challenge, which I overtook, which I overcame. Lo and behold, I managed to complete my term from 2013 to 2018, where I yet again was re-elected as the councillor for my ward, and I went on to become the mayor of this area.
Your story already teaches us determination, and it's just amazing. But please share with us, how did your family receive this? How did the society and the people around you, the close ones, how did you convince them that this is the journey I want to take?
To be honest, my family has been the backbone of my success in politics. It's always very important to come home after a long day and you have people who you can rely on for moral support, for support in every facet in relation to what a person would need for support to be able to do the things that they need to do. So all credit goes to my family. There's never been an obstacle as far as them persuading me out of politics. It's always been follow your heart, do what you want to do.
Honorable, one of the questions I'm going to be asking this whole season of Bled Inspires is, what keeps you going? People need to know, what keeps you going?
Well, what keeps me going at this point really is passion. It's desire. It's wanting, or rather not wanting, but it's waking up in the morning and knowing that there's a lady out there or a granny out there who's going to have to walk 5 kilometers to access water, who's going to have to walk 10 kilometers, for example, to get medical care. And what keeps me going is to think that, with the little resources that have been availed to us by government, I can play my portion in ensuring that this service is delivered. Of course, in rural areas, the challenges are completely different from what one would face in urban areas. And I would say up to now, I've been able to achieve quite a lot in terms of bringing safe water closer to people. I've been able to bring the equipment in to come in and grade roads regularly, and that those are some of my successes. What keeps me going certainly is the call of God on my life. I believe that I was called by God into politics. I don't think that it's something for everyone. I think that you certainly have to have something spiritual that pushes you behind, and that always keeps me going.
And now, what are three things that inspire you? Because you know, inspiration is the fuel to success. What are those three things that inspire you?
Well, I'll definitely say number one, my family. My family has been totally amazing. When I say family, I'm referring to my mother, my father, my siblings, and extended family who really have always been there for me. And then secondly, yet again, the call of God. I'm always inspired and brought back to the fact that it's God who called you. It's God who called you. And that is something that inspires me every time when I feel like giving up, when I feel like I can't do it, and I just say to myself, but this is my calling, and there must be a provision for me within this calling. And then finally, I suppose I'll talk about someone whose name I can't mention at this point in time, but she's a very special lady, and she's the third person who inspires me. And let's just say for now, she comes from a very small city in between Harare and Bulawayo. We'll leave it at that.
We shall not comment. We'll leave that one like that, and we hope one day we'll get to know who it is. But, Honorable, we would like to actually let you know that we honor you as someone who has done so much in our generation and at a young age. And so, what is your secret to this success?
My secret to success, I'll mention two things. The first thing is embracing failure. Along your journey to success in terms of your calling to by God and the things that you need to do, you always encounter failure. If you don't fail at some point, you'll never appreciate success. So I would certainly say that my secret to success, one of them has actually been embracing failure, but allowing it or using it as a benchmark into my successes. And then secondly, I would certainly say prayer. It's always critical to be on your knees. We cannot figure out all the things that happen in this world, so we always have to be on our knees and before God and asking Him to give us guidance in terms of the things that we need to do.
Okay, fine. We are done with the serious stuff. What is the one fun thing that we just like doing?
Well, I'm a snooker player. I love to play snooker. I also love to play darts. So those are definitely my hobbies. And I love driving. I just love driving around road trips and things like that. And seeing different parts of Africa and different parts of Zimbabwe is definitely something that I love to do.
Honorable, as we close the program, this episode, what will be your last inspiring words to somebody who is watching?
So I'll say this in conclusion as an inspiration to someone. First of all, don't follow the norms of the world. If you follow the norms of the world, you become a statistic. If you break out and follow your core and follow your heart in most cases, you become a legend, you become an icon, you become a household name, you become a person of influence in your sphere of influence. What is a sphere of influence? If you can influence 50 people, you're great. If you can influence 50 million people, you're even greater. And then we have the likes of the Mahatma Gandhis and the likes of the Nelson Mandelas and the like, who have been able to influence an entire planet. And those are different levels of greatness. But I just hope that someone out there who's watching this will have the motivation and the inspiration to influence even 50 people in their road. And it could simply mean going out and delivering water for them. It could simply mean going out and praying for sick people in hospitals. It could simply mean going out and giving bananas to people who are less privileged. You become an influencer, and that's essentially what it takes to be great. Thank you so much.
It's been absolutely a pleasure and an honor to have Honorable Tamiswa Njovana online with me for the second episode of Bled Inspires. I hope you were inspired. I hope you learned something from his story, and we are so grateful to have such giants in our generation doing amazing. Thank you so much, Honorable Tamiswa Njovana. Like I said today for my episode 2, we also had Customize on board. These are the best brand in town who make and design t-shirts. So please follow Customize on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and be able to get your design for your t-shirt when the lockdown is over. Thank you everybody for watching, and remember what we are doing this for: to inspire you, motivate you, and ignite your dreams. Till we meet again, this is Bled Inspires.